in the labyrinthine corridors of global power where multi-billion-dollar decisions are made and the destinies of countless lives are shaped, a curious phenomenon has taken hold. For decades, perhaps even centuries, the throne of corporate command was exclusively reserved for a specific breed, the master of the balance sheet, the guru of financial wizardry, the one adorned with the coveted master of business administration. Their world was one of strategic mergers, market manipulation, and the art of the deal. But something has shifted. A subtle, yet profound, transformation is underway at the very pinnacle of global industry. Today, if you look at the names etched on the corporate offices of the world's most dominant companies, from the e-commerce behemoth Amazon to the revolutionary space ventures of Blue Origin, from the design perfection of Apple to the AI-driven future envisioned by Google's Alphabet, and even the industrial giants like General Motors, you might notice an unsettling pattern. The hands now guiding these titans are not those of the traditional business savant. They belong to a different kind of mind, the minds of engineers. It's a quiet revolution, almost imperceptible to the casual observer. Yet its implications lives. Just a few years ago, in 2018, the prestigious Harvard Business Review published its annual list of the top 100 best performing CEOs. For the second year running, a startling fact emerged: there were more leaders with an engineering degree than with an MBA. 4 engineers to 32 MBAs. Some even possessed both, hinting at a new, formidable hybrid. But what does this mean? And more importantly, what unseen forces are driving this seismic shift in who truly holds the reins of the modern world? The answer, as we're about to uncover, might reveal a chilling truth about the future we're building. The traditional path to the CEO's chair was paved with the costly bricks of an MBA. Elite institutions like the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton or Harvard Business School could set you back over $200,000, a steep investment promising a golden ticket to the executive suite. It was the ultimate credential, a badge signifying your mastery of the business universe. Yet, ironically, some of today's most influential figures are now telling aspiring leaders to save their money. Elon Musk, a man who has redefined entire industries, didn't mince words in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, suggesting there might sit any MBAs running companies. He argued that while MBAs excel at spreadsheets and presentations, their focus often veers away from the very heart of a company, the product itself. For Musk, whether it's building quaking electric cars at Tesla or pioneering reusable rockets at SpaceX, must always be on creation. If the product is good, he believes, the profits will inevitably follow. And this is precisely where the engineering mindset, with its unique blend of logic and tactical application, comes into play. Engineers, by their very nature, are born problem solvers. Their foundational training in mathematics, science, and technology equips them not just to understand how to build, to create, and relentlessly to improve. They possess a unique ability to visualize solutions and to translate abstract concepts into tangible realities. Elon Musk himself, though technically holding degrees in physics and economics, is a self-taught engineer who devoured books on rocket science to master his craft. Consider the dramatic turnaround at Microsoft under the leadership of Satya Nadella. When he took over as CEO in 2014, the software giant was adrift, struggling to maintain relevance against the odds of Apple's revolutionary devices. Under his predecessor, Steve Ballmer, who possessed a background in mathematics, Microsoft had managed the books, but largely failed to innovate. Their responses to the iPad and iPhone, the clunky Surface, and the ill-fated Windows Phone were far from revolutionary. Nadella, an engineer by training, saw a different path. He transformed Microsoft Word beyond its traditional Windows ecosystem, famously bringing Microsoft Word to the iPad and iPhone. He also aggressively expanded its cloud business, Azure, turning it into the biggest rival to Amazon's AWS. In his very first email to employees as CEO, Nadella declared with the stark clarity of an engineer, "Our industry does not respect tradition, it only respects innovation." This singular focus, born from an engineering spirit that thrives on pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo, literally saved Microsoft. But this relentless drive for innovation, this engineer's dedication to solving problems and optimizing its hidden depths, its unsettling implications. It demands risky moves and an almost terrifying refusal to accept failure. Thomas Edison, the quintessential inventor, famously stated, "I have not failed. I've only found 10,000 ways that won't work." James Dyson, the British engineer behind the revolutionary bageless vacuum cleaner, spent 15 years and went through over 5,000 prototypes before achieving his breakthrough. This kind of perseverance, this obsessive attention to detail, is hallmark of the engineering mind. They aren't afraid to get their hands dirty, to immerse themselves in even the day operations of a massive company. Jeff Bezos, with his background in computer science, personally interviewed every candidate in Amazon's early days, asking quirky, analytical questions like, how many gas stations are there in America? He wasn't looking for a right answer, but for a candidate's systematic approach to problem solving. He believed this high bar for Amazon's most critical factor for success. But what if this relentless pursuit of technical perfection, this engineering purity, masks a chilling truth? What happens when a mindset of machines and systems is applied directly to human organizations and the very fabric of society? The answer might change how you view the future of leadership. The very strength of the engineering mindset, its cold, hard logic, its focus on efficiency, its drive to optimize every single process can, in certain contexts, become its most dangerous aspect. When the world is viewed solely as a series of problems to be solved, and humans as variables within a complex equation, the ethical boundaries can blur. The intense focus on quantitative results and streamlined processes, while fantastic for building rockets or designing microchips, can sometimes overlook the messy, unpredictable elements of an organization. This isn't to say engineers are inherently unethical, but their training often prioritizes objective outcomes and systems thinking above subjective human experience or emotional intelligence. Think about the unintended consequences of purely analytical leadership. A decision that looks perfectly logical on a spreadsheet, say, optimizing a supply chain for maximum efficiency, might in reality lead to mass layoffs, increased stress for remaining employees, or a reduction in quality that harms the brand's reputation. The horror aspect isn't a sensationalized monster, but rather the silent, creeping dehumanization that can empathy and nuance are sacrificed at the altar of pure optimization. When leaders are trained to view every challenge as a technical problem to be fixed, rather than a human dilemma to be understood, the results can be unsettlingly efficient, yet profoundly alienating. It's a difference between building a perfect engine and understanding the driver's fear. This engineering-driven problem solving isn't confined to the tech world. Consider Jeffrey Sprecher, the CEO of Intercontinental Exchange, the holding company that owns the New York Stock Exchange. His degree: chemical engineering. He famously admitted he'd never had a job that had anything to do with chemistry, but the rigorous discipline of chemical engineering taught him about problem solving. And as he succinctly put it, business is really just that. It turns out are exceptionally good at breaking down complex, regardless of whether those variables are chemical compounds, lines of code, or market fluctuations. This makes their skill set profoundly transferable, making them the ultimate unit problem solvers capable of everything from building a bridge across a river to designing a rocket to get to Mars, or even navigating the volatile currents of global finance. In a world that is becoming complex, where data streams are overwhelming and where industries are constantly being disrupted by technological advancements, the analytical, methodical, and relentlessly iterative approach of the engineer is proving to be exactly what companies need. The MBA could is to manage what was. The engineer is now shaping what will be. They are not just adapting to change. They are engineering it, sometimes with an almost terrifying precision. This fundamental shift in leadership, from the eloquent orator of strategy to the quiet architect of solutions, reflects a deeper truth about attacks. The future belongs not just to those who dream, but to those who can build those dreams brick by logical brick. As we look to the future of leadership, this trend of engineers at the helm signals where tangible creation and problem-solving takes. It's a testament to the idea that understanding can often be more powerful than just understanding them. And as the engineers continue to rise, shaping our present and designing our future, it prompts us to reflect on what kind of world are we building, and what kind of leaders will it truly need to navigate its intricate, evolving landscape. This is just one of the many mysteries we unravel here at Oddworld Files. We believe in at the surface, breaking down complex topics into simple, logical explanations that understand the fascinating and sometimes unsettling truths of our reality. If you've been intrigued by this journey into the minds of today's corporate titans, and you're new here, then now is the time to join our growing community of curious minds. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new here, and the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the strange and logical workings of our world.